Yeah, definitely really excited to be here. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's kind of the same every time, but really fun to be here though at the U.S. Open, being an American, and I feel like there's been a lot of hype around American tennis, so it's really exciting.
Okay, thank you. Questions? David.
Hi, Jess. David Kane, tennis.com. I imagine this has probably been a pretty busy week for you leading up to a slam. Maybe not as familiar as it might have been. Just curious what the week has been like. Any cool stuff you've gotten to do?
Yeah, it's been super busy. I've done a lot. I played the exhibition Wednesday night. That was really fun. Got to walk out with Ace. Got to raise money, for Alina's foundation as well. So that's always a fun to be a part of. And a lot of fans get to show up and you kind of get to feel the atmosphere before, the tournament really starts. I did some charity stuff with the WTA charities with the Come Play event in Harlem, and that was really nice. Yeah, and then now I'm here, and I think I did something yesterday. I don't know. It's kind of all blurring together the last few days, but it's been busy, yeah.
Is it super surreal to be coming to a slam in this kind of position?
I feel like last year I was also in a similar position. So, that's kind of what I felt. But, yeah, this year it feels a little bit busier. But at the same time, I feel like there's also a lot of hype around a lot of players. Like, it's not just me. I feel like it's, in general, American tennis and just a lot of people. So it just seems, very energetic this year.
Billie Weinbaum from ESPN. You mentioned a lot of hype around a lot of players. One of those players is someone you're very close to, Coco Gauff. How would you describe what you've seen from her this summer and her general development?
No, Coco's been, I think, definitely that Wimbledon loss seemed to really drive her to want to improve and get better. And I think she came out of that really hungry, which is great to see from someone that's already had a lot of success at such a young age and already has a long journey ahead of her. To see her kind of bounce back from that, I think was really promising. And then obviously going to DC, I played her, in Montreal. And I think she said it kind of helped her. I think I read it helped her beat Iga because I beat her and then I beat Iga. And that's how it works sometimes on tour when you see your friends or your coworkers or whatever you want to call them, having success and you've maybe beaten them or, whatever it is. It can give you a lot of confidence going into another week where you're in that situation. So I'm glad that it seemed like she got confidence from that week as well. And was able to, take it into Cincinnati. I think she's really confident. And when she's confident, or when any player is confident, that's when they're toughest to beat. And I know she loves playing with a crowd. So, I think she's definitely a favorite for this. I think there's a lot of favorites, but especially her, just her and the crowd and coming off a lot of momentum is big. So it's been really nice to see. I'm glad she's been improving and learning, and she's the future of the sport, so it's nice to see.
Keep it on the right side, yes.
Yeah, hi, Jerry Maserati, New Yorker Magazine. As a member of the Players Council, I wanted to ask you about Saudi Arabia and the prospect of the WTA entering into some kind of arrangement with them. There's talk of holding the WTA finals there in Jeddah this year. How do you feel about that? How would you feel about playing there, given the what human rights groups talk about as a kind of repressive state for women?
Yeah, well, first of all, that's a rumor. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but I know that's been up in the air. I think that if you look at a pros and cons list, we'd obviously have to see there'd be a lot of pros overweighing the cons to feel comfortable going there. Whether that's, seeing that them as a group maybe have to donate money to women's sports or women's, rights in Saudi Arabia to see some sort of change or action going towards helping those causes in their country. I think that would be really something important that would, if we did end up going there, that we would want to see. Because at the same time, there's obviously a lot of hot topics on that and issues, but at the same time, if we can go there and create change, that's also a great thing. So I think it's just going to have to be the right arrangement, and we're going to have to know that if we go there that, okay, well, then we want to be making a change, and you need to help us do that. So if that was the case, I think if we're, unfortunately, a lot of places don't pay women a lot of money, And it's unfortunate that a lot of women's sports, like, that we don't have the luxury to say no to some things. So again, if I think the money was right and the arrangement was something that we could get behind where we could go and create change, then I would be okay playing there. But yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. It just, those are all factors that it depends on for me. And, you know, we'll just have to see how it works out.
Okay, Brian?
Hi, Brian Mahoney from the Associated Press. We have Caroline Wozniaki coming back this year. She's played a couple tournaments now already. Just, you know, what do you think of seeing her back out here? And you know, there's quite a few women now who have come back from certain time off, babies, families, that kind of thing, and had success. Sort of, is there a reason why tennis allows you to do that? And how long would you be out and do you think you can come back and still play well?
I don't know if I'm going to be having a child and coming back. I'll just say that, but it's a lot of work. I don't know how they do it, but yeah, I mean, to see that being a possibility now for women, I think is great. You know, I mean, I think I'm not a mother, but I'm sure it's such a cool experience for them to come back and have their children watch them play and be able to see what they have done their whole career and, you know, all the stuff that they've built. So it's been really nice, I think, to see women come back, and it's, I'm sure, not easy for them, but at the same time, like Kara said, I think she said, you know, if I come back, I'm going to really go for this, though. It's not going to be some sort of like, you know, let's just see what happens. And that was one of the reasons, you know, she came back, is because she wanted to and had the drive to do it. So it's been really cool. I think she, you know, was such a great player in our sport for so long, and, kind of had, you know, she's had a lot of success here as well at the US Open. So it's interesting to see her back. I haven't gotten to practice with her yet. She practiced on Ash after me, but it's nice, I think, having her back and feeling her presence a little bit. She's always super nice, really happy, and yeah, a little bit nostalgic, I guess, her coming back. I feel like, you know, her and Svitolina, I think we're supposed to play in Cincinnati, and it like felt like it was like, I don't know, 6-something years ago or so. So it was kind of cool to see different generations being able to still compete. And I think that's what makes the women's game so great right now, and tennis in general, is that you're seeing girls from 17 to girls that are retiring, having kids, and then coming back. I think that's a really cool element that other sports don't really get, and creates a lot of layers and stories. So it's definitely exciting to see her back.
All right, we're going to go to the back, and then we'll work our way back to the front. Court, then 1, 2, 3. Okay?
Courtney Nguyen, WTA. Hey, Jess. Is it safe to say, just with the wins that you picked up in Montreal and having that title, that this is as confident as you've ever been going into the Open? And how does that change, you know, preparation, focus, goals, you know, ambition for the tournament?
I don't know if I don't feel like any more confident than other times, to be honest. Again, tennis is so week to week. I mean, I won Montreal, and then I got bageled and lost in Cincinnati. So then you're kind of like back to square one, like, you know, here we go again. I got to, you know, start, what did I do wrong? What do I need to fix? What do I need to work on? So I don't necessarily feel the most confident, not least confident, but I just feel kind of typical, like I usually do. I think I go into looking at it as a new week, new challenges, new things to try to improve on, new ways to try and problem solve. And that's always how it's been for me. So I feel like I just still have that same type of mindset. And at the same time, I think that helps me because it keeps me kind of level and level-headed. And that can be hard around a slam when there's a lot of excitement. So hopefully I can use that to my advantage.
Okay, the back.
Hi, Haley Fuller, usopen.org. I was wondering, like, past 6 quarterfinals in your past 8 majors, what are you doing to try and get past that and reach the semis or the finals, and how are you feeling as you're trying to get as deep as you can in your home slam?
Yeah. I mean, I just need to win a quarterfinal. That would help me get past the quarterfinal stage to a semifinal. I don't know. I got pretty close at Wimbledon. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I'm always going to try and win every single match, no matter what round it is. But yeah, I think my focus coming in here, again, to sound cliche, but it's one match at a time. And that's always kind of how I've had to take it. That's what I think works for me. That's what I think is the way to play with, you know, not as much pressure, is just take it one match at a time and try to problem solve, because again, the depth is too good now. If you try and get ahead of yourself, you can really get caught up. And taking it one match at a time tends to work for me. It doesn't mean it's always going to work, but I think that's just the best way to look at it, at least for me as a player and in my perspective, because like I said, it's a long 2 weeks, and every day you're going to feel different. There's probably going to be, challenges mentally, physically in those 2 weeks for sure, and you're not going to feel perfect. So, I'm just kind of keeping an open mind and trying to problem solve day by day.
Okay, we've got time for 3 more. In the back and then 2 in front.
Gerard Hector, the Shadow League. So you were at Bill's practice earlier this week, and it seemed like it was a surprise that Sean asked you to speak to the team. What is it about pro athletes, regardless of sport or whatever, that you're able to convey messages and speak a language to each other that the rest of us don't get?
I don't know I think it's just like for the most people, not every athlete's the same, but I think at a certain level, you're trying to do something great, and it's really hard. And I think I've always got caught up with like trying to be like the best player, but then also person, and also whatever it is, sister, brother, husband, wife, whatever, as you can be. And it's so hard, especially in tennis, because you're dedicating, like, you have to be so selfish and dedicate so much time, and then you get guilty, but then you still want to win, and you're still trying to get better, and you're kind of driving yourself literally insane with how do I improve? How do I get to the next level? And I think we can all relate to that, and the fact that every day, even though you guys see like, oh, you're making a lot of money and you're making all this, like, you're playing on this big stages and all this stuff, it's still the little things, like just getting up and going to the gym and working out. And I joke to my trainer all the time, like, I do a 30-minute warm-up before every practice. I'm like, okay, I've done like 22 warm-ups. Like, I counted the last 2 weeks every single day. Like, and you're going through it like, okay, it's like Groundhog Day, like over and over. But those are the moments that are so hard. And I think the combination of all that, I think athletes all get that. And that's the kind of battle we're always battling with ourselves is, I think playing on the big stage and competing and winning is the reward, but there's just so much effort that goes in behind, and it's such a mental grind that we can't take off. And you just kind of drive yourself crazy a little bit, but then you also kind of are addicted to that feeling. So it's a weird space to be in, but I think usually athletes at that high level can always relate to that.
Okay. Last 2. 1, 2.
Andrew Jones with ESPN Anscape. Just want to ask you, you have this long bond with David Witt as your coach. What's been the most entertaining story that stands out for you with David, with the personality he is?
There's a lot of entertaining stories. I will not share some of them because they're probably not appropriate, but he always keeps me entertained. I don't know if there's one that stands out. I would just say his general day-to-day commentary, like, throughout my team to me, just always keeps the mood very light and very funny. And I think, as I was saying before, when it feels like Groundhog Day, I think sometimes you need someone that kind of lightens the mood and gets you through the day and finds humor in like really simple, basic things. And he's very good at that, at kind of making it entertaining, even though it's a very repetitive day of doing 25 warm-ups in 2 weeks. He'll find a way to make it funny, and I think that's what he's really good at, and it keeps things light, and you definitely need that when you're on the road.
Okay, final question.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Amna Nawaz from the PBS NewsHour. I wanted to get your thoughts on marking 50 years of pay equity here at the U.S. Open, how far you think that movement has come, how far it has yet to go, and also whether you individually yourself feel pressure or responsibility as a leader in this generation of players to continue that advocacy work.
First of all, 50 years is an amazing achievement for us, especially just what we're fighting for. Even, we have equal pay at the slams, but it's not everywhere. And I think that's a little bit of a misconception that people, maybe the more casual fan, didn't realize. And that's something that we can get to. So, we're always working towards it. We're working towards getting women's sports, getting women to get paid more, getting paid what they should be. Especially for tennis, I feel like we're kind of a leading example almost, because we're the highest paid, female sport, which is a big deal. But into us, we already think there needs to be so much more that has to be done, and we're at the top. So I think we do feel, as I think an organization, probably some pressure to kind of lead the way. And we saw what happened with the women's soccer, which I think was inspiring for us to see them fighting for that. And yeah, just doing what we think is right. And I mean, I don't feel pressure myself, but I feel somewhat of a responsibility. I think as you get older, you start realizing that the next generation is what matters, and you start feeling less important. I think when you're younger, you're just playing and you don't really care, and you're just, oh, this is fun, this is my dream, and all this stuff. And then you start realizing how important it is to make an impact on your sport and leave with some sort of legacy. And I think that's what really inspires younger players to come up and carry your sport and hopefully drive that sport to become even better. So that's really important. And that's something that I've definitely learned more as I've gotten older. So I wouldn't say it's a pressure. It's just more of a responsibility and something that I want to give back to the sport that's already given me so much. So it's a very exciting time in women's tennis. I think that we are improving and we're moving forward, and hopefully we keep seeing that. And keep pushing for what we believe in.
Thank you, Jess. Thank you.
If anyone wants to help with ACES training. Hey, girl. Can you sit? Can I do the hand motion? Oh, she's not really looking. Did we get a good picture at least?
Yeah, you get a picture of you two together.
Here. Sit.
I think Jimmy got some good ones, Jess.
Oh, yeah?
Jimmy was here. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna do the
Oh, wait.
part called Do Not Judge.
You want to give me a treat?
All right, ready?
Hey, Ace, sit. Sit. She just wants the treat.
She just wants the treat.
Hey, girl.
Ace! Ace! Oh, yes! Good girl.
Ace. Should I hug her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, good girl.
Hey, Ace. Hey. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go.
Ace has won a Grand Slam already.
Hey, girl. Good job. I know. She doesn't like the press.